Halotherapy Solutions webinar today. Um, Joining us today, we have Steve Spiro, founder and CEO of Halotherapy Solutions, Lisa Semmerly, VP of Business Development, and Amy McDonald, Advisory Board Member. Steve, Lisa, and Amy have a lot to share, so we might as well just get started.
Well, thank you, Michelle, so much. And I did want to, since it's being recorded, and I know that some people that joined last week have not joined yet today. So I just wanted to thank everyone for their patience with the technical issue that we had last week. And I was talking to Steve last night about the fact that last week we were really focused on home solutions for respiratory health and hygiene, and how our world is evolving so quickly that as I started to think about that presentation, I realized so many spas are focusing now on reopening. And so we actually changed today's presentation from last week because there's been that much of a significant difference just in this last week. So we're actually going to touch on home solutions, but we're also going to talk about the commercial products as well, so that we're able to kind of really provide opportunities for our clients, since we're all consultants. A part of why Steve wanted me to give the presentation today is because I am a consultant, and even though I wear a hat with Halotherapy and have been involved, now almost 4 years, just in the growth and development, I also, obviously, like all of you, have clients that are, asking questions and wanting to look at, what they can do as far as offering respiratory health and hygiene. So it just made sense that I was able to give the presentation today. So all of you are at this point probably muted, but we are going to have a question and answer period at the very end. It is a 20-minute webinar, and this runs, probably about 10 to 12 minutes. So we will have time at the end for any kind of questions and answers. And obviously the recording will be available also after that. So I wanted to talk about the why of this, and I feel really strongly, both personally and professionally, that Halotherapy has really made a difference for the clients that have been first to market with the innovation of Halotherapy Solutions, and now even more I feel the importance of recommending this to our clients. So today we're going to talk about the commercial component and the home solutions. And, I really want to endorse certainly the integrity, but also the initiative that we put together in coming up with options for spas. And so really for us, what we're looking for is how can we support spas currently that are not open yet, that even though they're thinking about opening, most of our spa clients have a client list, they have members, some of them even have residents. We've been working with properties, I've been working with properties like the Carillon and also the Scottsdale Princess, where they have huge memberships, and like the Carillon, they have residents as well. And we wanted to be able to come up with some solutions that work for them right now, that they can offer their guests or residents while they're at home, but that will also drive them back to the spa for Halotherapy, once they're open again. So that was really the goal of us putting all of this together. So for many of you, and I'm preaching to the choir, I think most of us know the importance and the significance of the health benefits of salt, but I'm going to just quickly go over those again. Salt obviously is anti-inflammatory, it reduces inflammation, it's excellent obviously because of that in opening up the breathing passages, it's antibacterial, and I think also is a natural solution for respiratory hygiene. We all know someone in our family, if not ourselves, that suffers from, even if it's just seasonal, but certainly allergies, asthma, COPD, and other respiratory challenges. And the data and the scientific research, and certainly the results we've seen, have been quite extraordinary for people. But now, because of COVID-19, we think that the market is even larger, and that people are really thinking about what to do for their respiratory health and obviously for their immune system. The other piece that I think is not so foremost on all of our minds right now, but is a significant and powerful health benefit to salt is also the fact that halotherapy can also help reduce the symptoms of eczema and psoriasis. And I think now probably a lot of people are probably more susceptible to it just because of, the increase in stress levels in so many people. The other piece to me also that was really important to talk about today is the fact that Halotherapy Solutions is really the only, not only the leading authority, but the only company that has been successful at combining really beautiful booths that combine infrared, far infrared, and salt together. And so just as a reminder for those of you, and I'm sure you all know this, but infrared also is powerful in and of itself, and even more so when we combine them together. But infrared obviously reduces muscle pain, it boosts the immune system, it's excellent for easing joint pain and stiffness. It obviously reduces stress and general fatigue. I think worldwide it's known obviously for detox and many other things. It's been interesting to talk to Clearlight, who is the partner that manufactures the booths. They are infrared experts. That is what they do. And business, home business has expanded exponentially all over the world. So, we were already seeing before COVID-19, a lot of us as consultants were seeing that more and more clients were really open to infrared as opposed to a traditional steam sauna. And now we think that's going to be even more prevalent. So let's just walk through our top two commercial products. If any of you were at iSpa, you will see that they were actually launched, both of them, and they were examples of both of these. But I just want to quickly go through both of these. The first one is the Halo IR, and we like to think of it as the Breathe and Detox Suite. Breath and breathe because it has the salt component, and detox because of infrared. It comes in multiple sizes, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. But several things I think that are important to think about is the fact that this particular booth, for the size that it is, has a lot of bang for its buck, because you can have only infrared, you can have only halotherapy, or you can have a combination. So it ends up being 4 different types of experiences depending on what your guest wants. So we really feel like this is our star product, and certainly from a revenue standpoint and from a return on investment, probably the lead, because it takes care of so many different types of health issues. As far as sizes go, the single person one, we have been highly promoting, and I do have a little bit of information at the end of the presentation. This is the one that we are actually seeing an increase in home sales. The picture here actually in the photograph is of that particular model in someone's fitness center in their home. But it does come obviously in different sizes as well. The other booth that we are really excited about is the Halo Star, and we are seeing more and more interest in this because there is, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about this, but there is, I think, going to be, when a lot of spas first reopen, some reluctance potentially to go into a salt room with other people. And obviously, a lot of people, when they first re-enter back into spas, may want to wear a mask, and it's going to defeat the purpose. You can't wear a mask and go into a salt room and get dry salt inhalation, right? So we are seeing, but think that we are going to see a lot more upsell of these booths, because they are private, they are contained, they're easy to use, and they're more hygienic also. The Halo Star comes in 2 different sizes, and again, obviously these are also available for home use as well as commercial. So I just wanted to also touch base on salt rooms. It's been interesting. I did have a couple of calls just this week with companies that are wanting to have a salt room. And so for those companies that perhaps, some of our clients that are in design right now, I do think that by the time anything that's currently in design opens, I think that the general public will be much more open, to being back in in an environment where there are more people. But I did want to just let you know that although, we are not salt room designers, our preferred vendor, although we have several, but we do work really closely with Touch America. Touch America actually supplied these really beautiful photos of some of their designs. And, what we love obviously about these is they are just incredibly aesthetically beautiful. But it is a reminder that in order to have dry salt inhalation and the health benefits, that these particular rooms also have our Halo generator. The Halo generator runs about $6,500, and it is really appropriate for any size room that's 400 square feet or less. So obviously, if it was bigger, that the client would want to buy two. But we are really excited, obviously, to be continuing to work with Touch America. So let's just talk briefly about some of the home products, and in particular the latest one, which is the Halo Home mobile device. And before I go into more detail on it, what I really think is going to happen as we move out of COVID-19 is people who have had COVID-19 are really going to be focused on where they can go or what they can do even at home to be able to take care of whatever damage may have happened. But we also really believe that not only people that suffer from chronic respiratory issues, but that the consumer is going to be more and more interested. So we wanted to have a retail device that was mobile and easy, because we do, have a lot of data to show that accessible ongoing maintenance program really has extremely positive results. So the Halo Home, we launched fairly recently. It's 15 pounds in weight, so easy to move around. Obviously, it can be used indoors or on your patio or backyard. It comes with a super easy pop-up tent, so that if someone did want to use it in a living room or a space where there may be electronics, they can have it enclosed, but they could still be, watching TV or interacting with their family. But we are super excited about it. The other piece that we like about it is it comes with an adjustable neck strap. So, depending on the size of the person, because obviously it's great for children as well, it can be adjusted, and it can also be adjusted depending on the intensity of how much salt you actually want. So we're, really, excited about this particular unit. So if someone were to purchase the home unit, it comes with 3 months supply of salt to make it super easy and user-friendly. Actually, all of the Halotherapy equipment, whether it's for home use or commercial, comes with access to meditations and breath work. It's an audio series that we put together. We can't stress enough the importance that if a guest or a resident is going to make the investment in a piece of equipment, but also in their time, the importance of breathing and focusing on breath. The deeper and more profound their breath, obviously the more direct health benefits of halotherapy will happen. So that's just an overview of the Halo Home. The other device that we're seeing a lot of is the Halo IR booth that I had showed earlier on, and it's obviously the smaller one that we're seeing more sales in. But again, I stress the fact that there's 4-in-1 type of product that you can get, or experiences, health benefits you can get. It also comes with an aromatherapy blend that's been done specifically to open up the respiratory health system, the lungs. The booth is obviously all of our booths come with medical grade chromotherapy and a 5-year warranty both on the generator but also on the booth. So can't stress enough how great having a booth that's easy to install, easy to maintain is going to be for not only our spa clients, but also for their clients for home use. The piece as well, and we wanted to talk more about this, and if there's more information that you're looking for, I highly suggest that you reach out to Steve directly, is that we wanted to put together a corporate affiliate program, and this can be directly for you as a consultant if that's an appropriate business model for you. But we wanted you to be able to reach out to your clients, whether they're open or not, and let them know that we do have an affiliate program. that there's a commission that can be made if they sell home units that I think obviously will support spas that are not open yet, but also will be an ongoing retail revenue stream once they do open. So again, for more information on that, you can certainly reach out to Steve directly. And that's the overview. So I'd like to open it up to any questions if anyone has them. And just a reminder that you might need to unmute yourself. Hold on. Can you unmute yourself, Michael? If you go to the little box at the top, it's not letting you. Okay, let me see.
Okay.
There you are.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
So that home solution, I'm very intrigued on personally, as well as for clients. Do you have a retail price on that, or is it in proto, or is it ready for market?
Oh yeah, no, it's available. So the retail value, the price is $3,950, so $3,950. And obviously, depending on what you wanted to do, we do have a friends and family rate, that you could extend to your particular clients if that's appropriate. But that's the retail value. Yeah.
And you said it's 15 pounds. Yeah.
It's 15 pounds, correct.
Okay. So is there I'm just looking at it. So it's sort of like you can carry it and you can go to an outdoor setting to sort of,
you could go on your beautiful little porch that I see behind you. Yes.
In New York City, you got to take whatever you can get. Okay.
But it also comes with with a tent, right? So if like where your office is right now, if it was a rainy day or whatever, you could certainly also, it literally just pops up and you could, sit inside it. Obviously not with your computer, but yeah, we wanted to give people the option to be able to move around with it as they want, but also to have some kind of enclosure if they wanted that as well.
Okay, and if I could have one other follow-up, I'll follow not to monopolize. What's the kind of recommended for therapeutic purposes? Is it like a daily sort of practice? Or, you're not a doctor and you have to be careful on medical advice. I'm just curious, what sort of guidelines do you give people for the use of this in a home setting?
Well, I'm going to ask if Steve or Lisa want to respond to that. And if not, I'm certainly happy to.
So typically for general kind of respiratory hygiene, it's recommended 2 to 3 times a week. If somebody has significant, say, asthma or COPD or has some psoriasis or eczema and they're using it in the tent, they can do it anywhere from 4 to 5 days a week. So it really depends on, and that's one of the beauties of it. They don't have to go into a salt room, 40 minutes away from their house. They can use it whenever they want.
Yeah, really cool. Nice. Okay, thank you. Sneaking notes here. And then what's the, so on these custom units, and you said you partnered with Touch America, and that's really for like the furniture and maybe the Himalayan salt block if you wanted that sort of decor. I'm just curious, like the partnership is where, like, what are they supplying versus what you guys are providing the generator and they do a sort of plug and play kind of kit, and they can be fully custom with whatever finishes
Yes.
the project wants?
So I was on the phone earlier this week with Stuart, and it's not unusual, right? I mean, Michael, you see this all the time. They were like, "Oh, we want to have it as an amenity in our locker room, and it's next to a traditional steam sauna, right?" So we talked about the pros and cons of that. Obviously, humidity is an issue. In order for this to really work, it's ideal in a dry environment. So ventilation becomes, super critical to think through, but the thing that Stuart talked about was the fact that they can really do anything, right? They can because it was a set I think it was 200 square feet. It wasn't a very big space, right? They can send a kit, but they can also do different types of design, like you see in the top photo, right, where it's a rounded wall. So they can really, do just about anything as far as design goes. Yeah.
And then in a commercial setting, like an amenity experience on this, what's the time frame? Because it seems to me that this is more of a therapy than a sort of a steam and sauna experience. I mean, you do need to be in there for X amount of time to get therapeutic benefit, right?
Well, I mean, ideally, 15 or 20 minutes is ideal. Breathing deeply is equally, is also very important.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's probably very similar to what we would suggest and recommend for people in a steam sauna if they can, obviously handle the humidity and the heat as well.
Okay. But
Yeah.
what's the mix of like people using it as an amenity space or directly monetizing it as a therapeutic kind of revenue generating outlet? Do you know what I mean? Are you getting both kind of?
Yeah, so that's a good question, Michael. So, previous to COVID-19, we were getting a mix of both. People were switching out their steam saunas because, let's face it, they're difficult to maintain, and looking for an alternative that was easier and really like the idea of something like this.
Mhm.
But we were also seeing more and more people really interested, especially in the infrared and salt booth option, because it's more recovery focused. And so for companies that have a strong membership piece, they were looking for that because it was a really added value for their members. They could potentially charge for it. But they also, obviously the booths are really designed ideally for revenue, but they're a great added value for members, right? Or, if you have a residential component, they can have a certain amount of access to it, whether it's an amenity or not. But I would say it was split. We do think that when, as we start to reopen, we're going to see more and more people wanting the booths, right? And charging for it because people want that privacy. So we do think that there's probably,
And as you pointed out, of just having proven respiratory therapies is going to become more and more of an issue.
right. And obviously they can link it to different types of, right? I mean, there's other types of modalities that, can be combined. I mean, we, like some of the work that we're doing with one of my clients right now is they're really about recovery. So they're really looking at, halotherapy and infrared and cryotherapy, kind of having a circuit like that. So, that they could charge for, but depending on the type of guest and depending on if it's a destination spot, may be included, right? So we're seeing a lot of different options. Yeah.
I'm monopolizing. I'm sorry. I just have so many questions. Has anyone done like a treatment room, a modified treatment room with the salt so you combine
Well,
body?
that is a very good question. So I have not seen that yet, and Lisa and Steve may say something differently. But I was again on a call with Touch America earlier this week, and that was our recommendation: was not to have it as an amenity, partly because of the concern for the humidity levels being too high, but also, why offer it for free, right? And we decided and proposed that it would be a halotherapy room that was a treatment room with a portable table in it, and actually next to a fitness center. And so I do think we're going to see more and more of that. I mean, it's great for the staff as well, right?
Yeah.
To be able to, yeah. Now, obviously, there's going to be some challenges. I mean, if it's a new build, it's really easy to make sure that the HVAC system and the ventilation is done correctly, right? But I would love to see, and I think we will see more of this, the larger rooms where you could go in and actually do Thai massage and different types of assisted stretching. I think also, so you're really literally physically opening the body up and lungs, right? So I do think we're going to see more of that. Yeah. In new builds.
That's an interesting idea.
Do we have any other questions? I guess not. Well, I really, I'm very grateful to everyone that joined the call today. Obviously, you're gonna, get this particular presentation. If you do have really specific questions, especially around the affiliate program and how you can work with your clients, your spa businesses, I highly recommend, working directly with Steve. He's supported me in me being able to support some of my current clients as well. So thank you for your interest in something that I think is now more important than ever, which is taking care of respiratory health. So thank you. And thank you, Lisa Starr and Michelle.